This conference.
Hey guys, this is Ron with Tess. It's so nice to be here with all of you with Mickey Travels today. And so, what we're going to do is I'm just going to kind of walk you through getting started. It's going to be very informal. I will stop at different places and ask any of you if you have a question. If you have a question, just go ahead and ask it, and then all of us will benefit from it. So, let's go ahead and start looking at things. Everybody got an activation email. Okay. If you did not get your activation email, just let Greg know and he can send you another one. And you need to go in and activate your account. So once you've activated your account, it's going to bring you into the dashboard. We're going to learn a little bit more about that dashboard. But as we get started, I want to show you a couple things that you need to do right at the very beginning. Okay. In the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see your name. When you click on that, you'll see my profile. So I'm going to go here to Sarah's profile and open it. And this is all your information. Okay. Now, right here, you do not want to change your username. Okay. And so if you change your username, that's going to mess your login stuff. So I would stay away from that. On the right here, you can add your address and your mailing address. In your details here under contact details, see she has an email address and a telephone number. To add more contact details, you just click add, and then maybe I have another telephone number, and this is my mobile, and I'm going to put here. If I can type right. Okay, and save it. So now you have two telephone numbers. Now, one number is always going to be the default. You can change which one the default is. And all that does is tell the system or tell the office if they're going to reach you, which one to call you on first. Okay. And so I can come in here and I can upgrade this one to be the default. And now this is the default number. Okay. All right, the next piece, of course, is your commission. You cannot change your commission. If the commission level's wrong, then what you want to do is just contact the office and they're going to fix that for you. All right, next thing I'm going to do is go to settings. Click on settings. Now, under settings, I need to authorize email. I only have to do this one time, so I'm just going to click authorize email. It tells me what we're doing. I'm going to begin. And here I'm going to pick the email address. Even if you only have one, you have to pick it. So I'm going to pick the email address and telephone number that I want on communication going out to the clients. Maybe you have a couple telephone numbers, okay? And so here I want to, select the one I want. And I'm going to authorize it, okay? So we've got that done. Now, on all communication that goes out to the clients, you're going to have the social media icons on there. Every one of them will be there. Now, what you need to do is you need to fill out your icon here, okay? Your link. So I'm going to go out here to Facebook, and I'm going to just find Ron's, and I'm going to copy his here, and I'm going back. And I'm just going to paste that in here. So here, you're going to save the links to all of your social sites. Now, in this case, the only one that's been filled out is Facebook. So that's the only icon that's going to show up, okay? And anytime you need to update that, you're just going to come here to your profile, and then you're going to go to settings, and here you can update your social media. Now, one of the things I want to show you, everything I'm going to go over today, of course, you're going to get a copy of this recording, but on the menu, our menu on the left, if I come down and I click on documentation, this is going to take me into the Test Learning Center. And you can learn anything you want right here, okay? And I'll refer back to this at different times during the training this morning. So let's go back to my user information. I would click Update Photo, and I'd go out to my computer, and I'd find a picture of myself and update my photo here. Now later, when we get into doing more advanced things, there's going to come times when your picture is going to actually be shared as with the client as their travel agent. So you want to get a nice picture there, okay? And that's pretty much it. That's what you need to do as far as setup, okay? Now later, we're going to take a look at my account. When you go to my account, it's going to show you which account you're on. Here's where you would upgrade, to the advanced if you wanted to. And we're going to talk more about the advanced in our next training session. Okay. So that's kind of it on the user. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard, and that's all the original setup that we need to do. If you have a problem with your account, you can get with Greg. He can help you with it, and that's pretty much it on the account setup. Now, what I want to do is we're going to get started in here on March the 1st. Now, Greg is getting me some data to load from some of the spreadsheets, some of the forms that you guys have sent in to him. But what I want to do is I want to show you today how quick it is to just get the data into the system. So anybody you have traveling after March the 1st, you'll want to have them in the system, because that's how you're going to get paid, okay? And that's where we want to track things, all right? And so we're going to look at two things. One is I have my clients here under clients, and this is the clients that she has. And then we're going to take a look at our trips, okay? And so the way I like to put clients in when I'm getting started is inside of a trip. So I've got my list of people that I've already booked, okay? And so I want to get them in here. So I'm going to go to my trips, and I'm just going to click the add button up here to add a new trip. We have two types of trips. We have a group and we have a regular trip. I'm just going to come in here and add a trip. I'm going to put that they're going on vacation, and they're going to go over Labor Day. So they're going from the 1st through the 8th. Okay. And I'm going to give it a description. Now, description, we kind of have some examples down here. In the description, you always want to put the last name of the traveler that you're dealing with. Okay, so it's Alexander, and then I'm going to give it some description. Okay, and I'm going to say their Disney trip 2019. Okay, I'm going to say that. Now, the next thing that I need to do is I need to go find that booking that I've already made with Disney and add that to this trip. So I'm going to go to bookings, and I'm going to add. I'm going to put the confirmation number that Disney gave me when I did the booking. I'm going to put the actual date that I did the booking, okay? And I did that on January the 2nd, and this was with Walt. I'm going to type that, and I'm going to put the package price. What was the total price? Total price was $47.15, okay? And then my commission was $4,715 is what the, no, that's not really true, is it? We wish it was. Okay, that it's 47, okay? And the final payment date is going to be what they gave me for the final payment date. And then I'm just going to save that booking. So if I go back to the trip, I now have a trip, I have their start and end date, and I have the booking, okay? With this information right here, I'm going to get paid. So now what I want to do is I want to go to my reports and I want to look at my projected income. Okay. And projected income is going to be based on when they travel. So now I see I have somebody traveling, the Alexanders going to Disney on 9/1. And right here is going to be a list of all of my bookings, okay, that have it that's traveling going forward. So this is based on travel date. And then I'm going to look at the commission earned is my sales. This is what I've sold in January. Okay. So this booking date was in January. So it's going to show all of my sales in January. And when I go to the dashboard, then this is the sales that we're going to see here. Okay. Now the blue ones just means that there was some sales last year. Okay. And we are going to load your data from last year eventually, and then you're going to see what your sales is this year versus last year. So back to my trips. I have this trip. Okay. And I added a trip, and then I added the booking. Now, to take things to the next level is I want to keep track of who's going. So I'm going to go add a traveler. Okay. I'm going to make the primary traveler the person that I'm dealing with. And this is actually, let's see, this was Sarah Alexander. Now, Sarah Alexander did not come up, which means that she's not in my client database at this time. So I'm just going to click create a new one. And this is a fast form that's going to allow me to enter information that I know about Sarah. I do have her email address. And I know the telephone number. And that's all I know right now. So I'm going to go ahead and create that, and I'm going to add her to the trip. Okay. So now I've got my trip, I've got my booking, and I have Sarah added. I'm going to go in and add the rest of the family. I'm at a secondary, and I'm going to add Joe. And I don't have him in there. That's all I know about Joe. And I'm going to go ahead and create it. And then I'm going to add their child. I'm going to add Luke. I'm going to create a new one, create it, and save it. Okay. Now, the last thing that I would like to do as the agent is I want to keep track of where they're going. So I'm going to come here and add a resort. And I'm going to put Disney Animal. I'm going to see Animal Kingdom Lodge, and I'm going to save that. So this is what I would like to have, going forward for all the trips that I have planned. Okay. If I'm working with someone new, then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do the same thing. So we can do one more here. So I'm going to go to trips. I'm going to add a trip. And this is going to be a vacation. And this is going to be April 6th through the 13th. And this is going to be the Doster Disney cruise. I'm going to add a cruise. Come in here and just start typing Disney. It's going to pull up all the Disney cruises that are leaving on that date. Okay. I'm going to click that. I'm going to come in and add my travelers. and I'm going to add a primary, and I'm going to say Doster. Yeah, Ron's in there. I'm going to add him because he was already one of my clients that I entered something previously for. And then I'm going to add Shawnee. And then I am going to add the booking when I went out to Disney and booked it. I'm going to write the booking confirmation number that they gave me. And I actually did that booking Friday. I'm going to put Disney Cruise Line. And this was for 3,600. And this was for 360. And I'm going to hit save. And I now have another one of my bookings in. So you see, maybe I have 20 or 30 that's going to travel out the rest of the year. It's not going to take me very long to put those in. So this is what I want to do. Okay. So let's kind of pause for a second and let's take some questions on what we've learned so far. Anybody have any questions about this process?
Hi, this is Sarah Phillips. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Sarah, go ahead.
Just a curiosity, I see where you can put in a birth date. Is there a way just to put in an age instead if we don't have the birth date?
Well, so there's not, okay? And I'm gonna tell you why. And so let's what happens is whatever age you put in there right now, when you send them on another trip, you'd have to go get that age. Okay. And so what it's going to do is it's going to keep track of these birthdays. So let's go look at Ron's record. Okay. So if I click on Ron, this is going to bring me into his information. And of course, this birthday is wrong. You guys do know that it is my birthday, but this is off just a hair. So let's actually just be truthful here. And so let's bring that up. And so I want to keep their birthdays and their anniversaries. Okay. And because I really want to do really great things, and be a great agent. So I'm going to set some automation up that I'm going to show you how later that's going to send them a birthday card and an anniversary card automatically. And so with your kids, every time that you get that birthday one time, you put it in, then every time you send them on a trip, it's going to show you, okay? It's going to show you exactly what their age is. Now, if I click on Ron's trips here, I'm going to see, every single one of his trips. I see he went last year, to Disney, and he's going on a cruise this year. So that's good. So when I click on this, it's going to show me exactly how old each person's going to be the date of that trip. So, we need to find. Now, you're not going to have all that information. And every single time you get another piece of information on a client, you're going to come over here and go in. You can go in from here, or I can just go find my list of clients and I can type Doster and I can find Ron and come here and add information. Maybe I got one of his, I got his telephone number. So I'm just going to come here and add telephone, and this is his home, and I'm going to put his number, and I'm going to save it. And so all this information, every time you get a little piece of information from a client, let's say I got his credit card. So I'm going to come here to tracking, and I'm going to come down here to credit cards, and I can add a credit card. So you just click here, you add it in, and it's going to save it. It's going to encrypt the card number. You can decrypt it, and you can safely store credit cards here. You cannot store the CVV code here, but you can store the credit card. And then later, I'm going to show you how you can actually get the credit card from the client. Okay. And so That's the things that we have here inside of tracking. So that's the client information. Any other questions at this time?
Ron, it's Greg. Just piggybacking on Sarah Phillips' question regarding the birth date. For Disney Cruise Line, the date of birth is required. For a Walt Disney World trip, for instance, it's not required. So in the system for a Walt Disney World trip or a Disneyland trip, is date of birth required, or is that an optional?
No, it's always optional.
Okay.
Yeah, when I add a call, when I add a new client, you don't have to put the birthday.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you don't. The only things that's not optional is you must have their first name and last name.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, everything else is option.
This is Jennifer Turner. So on the birth date, because I do track like how old the child is at the time of travel, is there a place that we can add a note? Like, you know, they're 6 years old, or can we, by their name, put parentheses the child's age? Would that be like an option to track the age? Because I don't collect the date of birth for Walt Disney World Resort.
Yeah, and you know, inside of notes, so when you're when you go to a client, you can write all the notes you want. Okay.
Okay, so we can add like a note, or
You can
add it there.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So, you know, my mission is that what I want to do is I want to come down here to my projected income report, and here is my list of everybody traveling this year, okay, going forward, and I'm going to see that I've put them all in there, okay? And so that's what we want to do. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to come back to this trip, and I want to look at this Alexander. And I know that in order for me to send them on this vacation and for me to do a really good job, there's lots of dates that I need to keep track of, okay, when things need done. So I can come in here manually and I can add a task, and I can put anything that I would like, you know, in this task, okay? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually come to this, I'm gonna come to this cruise line and show you an example. So I've got this cruise, they're leaving on the 6th, and so I could come in here and I can add a task. I'm gonna call that task final payment. I'm gonna give it a due date, okay? I think that's when it was leaving. Okay, and I'm gonna call this a payment due. Now this reminder, what this is I'm gonna have a to-do list item for the 13th, and this is telling me that I'm gonna get an email a day before about it. Okay, I could say I want it 3 days before, whatever I would like. And I'm just gonna save that task. Okay, so now for this trip, I have a task, and if I go to my dashboard, I'm going to see that this is going to be due, it's due in a month. These are past due, so I'm just going to clear these out. So as soon as you check it, it checks it off that you've done it, okay? And so Sarah has in her to-do list in a month to check on this payment, okay? And so what happens is I can add all the tasks I want to a trip. Now, we have a way for you to add in, you know, all the tasks that you want. So let's say I sat down and I decided, here's all of these things I do every single time I do a Disney booking. Then we're going to have what we call an extension. Now, there is an extension out there right now, and so I'm going to type in Disney, and you'll see this Disney Resort in the test library. This just means there's one at the top level, and you guys can build your own, And what I encourage you to do is to get together as a group, okay? And Greg can enter the extension at the top level, and it's going to be available to all of you. So Greg, what we need to do is we need to get us a group together that's going to help build these extensions that you guys want, and then we can share them down to everybody. But I'm going to pull this one in right now. And you guys have a few experts that's been using the system for a while that's going to be very helpful in that area. So I'm going to bring that in, and I'm going to save it. Okay? And so what this means is I've just extended this trip. I've made this trip with a workflow in it. Okay? And so now I have 6 tasks that got put in here automatically. Okay? Along with due dates. Advanced dining, advanced tea time, online check-in, fast pass, payment due, magic band personalization. So you can take all of the different things that you guys would like to do and you put it in this extension. And so now inside this trip, I have these 6 tasks and these were set for these dates. Now, the way that happened was if I come down here to my account and I look at the extensions and I bring this Disney extension up, then I see that these tasks were added. And the way they were added is it says final payment due 30 days before start date. A reminder 1 day before. Magic band 30 days. Check-in 60 days. Fast pass 60 days. Tea time 90 days. Advanced dining. So you see, what you can do is you can come up with your list of things, okay? And from that list, it's going to calculate those dates, okay? And that's what we call an extension. Now, when you go here to the training center and you go to automation, you're going to see how to create an extension. Now, there's 2 pieces to an extension. There is the task, and then there's the automated emails. The automated emails we're going to look at later when we look at more advanced things. But on the standard package, which all of you, get Greg supplying for you guys, you can create these extensions with the task. Okay, so you go here, watch this short video. It's going to show you how to do it. Okay, and this is the email, okay? And then down here is where you add task. So it's going to show you exactly how to add task to an extension. You save your extension, and then you can pull it in and use it, okay? So you see, when I go to my trips, it's going to really help me with everything that I need to make sure that I'm going to get done. Questions on that? Okay, well, it sounds like you guys really are going to have this down. Okay, so that's very good. I've got a little bit more time, and so the next thing that I'd like to show you is now I have several families. Maybe I have 3 or 4 families going on the same trip together. Okay, maybe they're going on a cruise together, or they could be going to a resort. It doesn't matter. We do it the same way. So what I'm going to show you now is if you come here to trips and you look at group trips, okay, this is how you would enter in a group. Okay, so I'm going to go to trips, okay, and I'm going to add, in this case, I'm going to add a group trip. Okay, and so this is a vacation, and I don't have an official group number. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give it one. So I'm going to say Toaster 2019, and this is going to be with Walt Disney, and this is going to be Toaster And I'm going to give it some dates when they're going. And let's see, they're going to go, let's send them there during Thanksgiving. That's got to be a good time. Okay. And I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to come in and add the resort that they're all going to. Okay. Going to send them to the boardwalk. All right. Now that's the group. Now all I do is go to reservations, and each time someone wants a room in that group, I would come and add a reservation. So I add a reservation, and here there's nothing new to learn because this is just a trip. Okay. It brought the resort in for me. Here I'm going to tell it that this is the Dosters. This is the Dosters room. And I'm going to save it. And I'm going to come and add me a traveler. And then I'm going to add secondary. And let's add a third traveler for this one. And create it. And then I went out and made their booking. Okay. So I'm going to go add a booking, and I'm going to put the booking number that they gave me. And I did this booking today, and this was with Walt. Okay. This was going to be 5,200. This was going to be 520. And I'm going to have a final payment date of 10. I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to add my extension. And save it. Okay. So you see, that's the same things that we were doing with trips. Now, what I'm going to do is come over here to my reservations. And another family wants to go. I'm just going to add another reservation. And I'm going to come in here and say that this is the Alexander's room. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come in here and add a primary. And I'm going to add Sarah. Now, a lot of people will say, you know, yeah, having all these travelers in there doesn't really help me. But I recommend that you put every traveler, okay? And because as we do more, you know, with the system, it's going to become apparent. And you gotta understand that you're in this for the long haul. And 10 years from now, when you're working with a family, you're going to want to know every trip, because sometimes Joe's going to go on, he might go on a golf trip and Sarah didn't go. Okay. And so I want to keep track of everything that Sarah's been on, plus everything that Joe's been on. Okay. And so I'm going to go add the booking, and I'm going to put the booking number that it gave me when I did the booking. And I booked it today. And this was with Walt. And this was for 4,700 and 470. And I can save it. And now I have all of this information for 2 of the rooms. Okay. And so anytime I have 2 or more rooms going together, I like to put them together. Okay. And so then I know when I go to my list of trips, I'm going to see that this is a group. I can click here on the thing, and it's going to show me that everyone is in the group. Okay. All the families that are all part of it. Okay. And so those are things that I can do. All right. Let's go back to this trip and let's look at this Disney trip. And later they called and they're like, yeah, we need a stroller. Okay. And so I went out to a stroller place and I did a booking for them. And they gave me a booking number. And so I'm just going to record it in here because I got to make sure that we get it paid. Okay. And I get my commission. It was with Kingdom strollers. Okay. And this was for, say, $100. Maybe this was 15, and I save it. So you see, for one trip, I could have multiple bookings. Maybe I sent somebody on a Disney cruise, but they went to Disney before they went on the cruise. Okay. And so you're just going to include all the bookings for this trip. Okay. Any questions?
Ron?
My
Yeah,
name is
go ahead.
Alicia Gronke. When we fill out the bookings and we hit save, is that automatically sending to Alyssa what she needs to know that there's been a new booking?
Well, yes, it is. Okay. Because all she's going to do is come here and look in the system and she's going to see that you put it in. You don't have to notify her or send her anything any longer. All you do is put it in here. And then when she receives her commission checks, it's going to associate that commission check with that booking. And if that booking belongs to you, then you're going to get paid. That's going to be the beauty of it. And so she can run her reports on everything, you know. So if I come over here and let me show you that. Let me show you that part.
And just while you're pulling that up, Ron, just to clarify for everybody on the call or who's listening on the playback, you're not going to have to fill out an invoice sheet as of March 1st anymore and send that to Alyssa. That will all be done through Tess. So again, up until March 1st, you want to continue doing that though.
So I'm sorry, wrong place. I think she's in Magical. Yes. Ron's Magical Travel. I think that's a good name, don't y'all? So,
Sorry, this is Sarah Phillips again. Just a question going back to those bookings. Is this going to be the same place that we put any Let's Adventure Travel bookings in as well, or is there going to be someplace separate for those invoices?
there's going to be someplace separate, okay? And it's going to work exactly like this, but it will be a different account, okay? And
So
so
it's a different username and password that we log into Test with?
right, that's correct. And
Got it.
and we'll be getting those to you, okay?
Thank you.
All right. So now I'm logged in as Ron, okay? And Sarah is an agent. So if I go to trips as the admin, see, I see each one of these trips that she put in there, okay? And so everything's right there. If I go to reports, at the top level, if I go to projected income reports, I'm going to see all of hers plus other people's. Now I can come over here and search for Sarah and see just hers. So this is an admin. This would be Alyssa or Greg, okay, would be able to see that. Nobody else. You're only going to see yours, okay? And so That's the answer to that question. And again, like Greg said, starting March the 1st, anything going on in February, you still need to do the way you've always done it. Okay. And then starting March the 1st. Now, you can put it in both places. That's fine. But you need to get everything in there starting March the 1st.
Ron?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So let's say we book a trip, we put all the information in, and then a month after the client books, they decide to upgrade their park tickets, so the total amount of the trip changes. Do we just go to the update here that I see for the traveler detail?
So I'm going to go here to the trip, and I'm going to pull this trip up. And they did an upgrade, so I'm going to go pull this booking up, and I'm going to look here at this booking, and I'm going to change this amount to $52.45, and I'm going to change this to $5.25, and I'm going to save it. Now, so here's the cool part is if I go to my timeline, I'm going to see that this package price was changed from 47 to 52. So anytime anything takes place, it's recorded in the timeline, who did it and when they did it. So yes, you would just upgrade the booking.
Hi, this is Jennifer Turner. I have two questions, a follow-up to the one that we just went over and then a different one. So when we send a revised commission over, we have to give Alyssa the revised date, like the modified date. So with this system, we don't have to give her that date information anymore because she can automatically see. Was she going to get notification when it changes?
She doesn't get notification, but
Okay.
she can go in there. She can see everything. But
Okay.
see, she's not going to have to do all of that. Okay. And
Okay.
so, but she can pull this up, and she'll be able to go to the timeline and see, what it was when you changed it. I changed it at 12:43 on February the 5th, and I changed it from this to this. So you see, she's going to have everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And then my second question, it's something new. If you go back to trip information, I had a question about the, it's called, trip status below the end date. There's active, and then when you showed us the summary, there was some that was booked. What does that mean, and how do we need to utilize that field, the trip status?
So let me tell you what the intent is. Okay.
Okay.
First of all, unfortunately, Sarah and Joe and them is not going to be able to go. Okay. So the trip got canceled. All right. So to cancel a trip, what you would do is go in. Of course, you got to go to the wholesaler. Once you cancel with the wholesaler, you would open each one of these bookings and you would change this booking to canceled and save it. Okay. Once you've canceled both of the bookings, then you would actually cancel the trip. Okay. And so that's how you delete something, or you let the system know that this is not going to be a real this is not going to be a real trip. Okay. And maybe you're in the system playing and you put something in and you're like, no, I don't mean that. You just cancel. Okay. You cancel it and save it. So,
Okay.
all right. Now from there, we have.
Ron, can I just hop in 1 second?
Sure. Yes, sir.
I apologize for interrupting. I just wanted to make one note that I think is important. We want to make sure when a trip is being canceled that it's obviously canceled with Disney directly, because just canceling in the system is not going to cancel the trip with Disney.
100%. That's correct.
Can I add a question, please?
Yes.
What if they cancel just the resort, but they keep their tickets?
So if it was all one booking with Disney, then you would modify the booking. Okay. Also, I want you to notice something. Let's talk about that. Okay. Anytime anytime she talks to the client, she's going to come over here and she's going to make some notes. Okay. And I'm going to come in here and say canceled the resort, but keeping the tickets and sleeping in the car. I guess that's where they're going to sleep. Okay. Every time you talk to them, you can come in here and make a note. And these are going to be chronological order. And the neat thing is if someone in the office, if they pull this up, they're going to see these notes about what you've done. Okay. And so that's going to be really good. But then what you're going to do is you're just going to open this ticket. And if this now you've got, it's the same confirmation number, but now it's only park tickets, then you're just going to change this. Okay. Again, it's going to keep a record that you did that, but I would also go in and make some notes into the trip about what you're doing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So now, I always like to ask travel agents, you know, how's business? Oh, I'm really busy. This is a busy time of the year. How many things are you working on? Oh, a lot. Okay. So what I want as a travel agent, I want a list of everything that I'm working on. So what happens is when I make a proposal to somebody, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add the trip. I'm going to add the trip and I'm going to add the travelers and I'm going to add some notes. But I haven't made a booking yet because we haven't got that far. All right. So to me, at that time, this would be an active trip. And it's going to start as active. Now, active means I'm actively trying to get them booked. Okay. In this case, I've already done the booking. So I'm going to come in here and move this to booked and save it. So when she pulls up her list of trips, she's going to be able to see her trips here and what is booked and what is active. Okay. And this one was traveled. Now you can filter. I can filter for only, I could filter for just the actives. Okay. And I see I have 2 active trips here. So that's my list of things I'm working on. And I'm going to put in tasks to follow up on those. And I'm going to look at this list all the time. Now, once I get it booked, I'm going to pull it up here and, oh, I've already got this one booked. I'm going to move it to booked. Now, you don't have to do these things. I'm just sharing with you. And when we start talking about automation, there's some things that we use these for. Now, once they're paid in full, I'm going to move it to paid. Okay. And the reason for that is later I'm going to turn automation on that's going to automatically send them an invoice if it's not paid 45 days out or 30 days out. Okay. So that's why I want to track that this is paid. The last status that I use is ready to travel. And when I set it to ready to travel, that tells me that I've delivered the documents. These people are all systems go. They've got their e-docs or they have their documents. It's all done. These guys are ready to travel. And then once they travel, I can move it to travel if I want to. So that's what these different statuses mean. None of the statuses are going to change automatically. You're going to have to change them if you choose to do this. And again, this is going to make a lot more sense when we go to the next section and we start talking automation and things that we can do. Okay. So that's what those statuses mean. By default, it's going to be active and it's going to stay active unless you change it. Any other questions? Okay, so we must be doing pretty good then. So there's so much more, you know, that I want to show you. I want to show you how to build real pretty itineraries and send them to your clients. Okay, I want to show you how to send invoices if you choose to invoice out of here. I want to show you how to build those extensions. You know, we want to learn all of these things. And so we have 2 more trainings set up. For right now, we kind of want to keep it simple. And your mission starting on March the 1st is I'm going to have all of my trips that are traveling, they're all going to be listed right here in my projected income report. Okay. If you've got someone traveling in 2020, if you click here on 2020, it's going to show you that you have them traveling in 2020. Okay. And so it's going to show you based on their travel date when they're all traveling. Also, under commissions earned, you're going to have based on booking date, things that you might have booked last year. So if I come over here and put 2018, then I'm going to see by month what I put in. So if you've got someone traveling in April and you booked it last November, when you put that booking date, put last November. Okay, those are important dates. Okay, because we do want to keep track when we sold things, and we want to keep track on our traveled sales, because you're going to be able to do cool things like this. You're going to be able to come in here to suppliers and look at tour operators, and I'm going to type in Walt. Okay, and I'm going to look at Walt Disney, and it's going to show me my sales, me as a travel agent, what I sold to Disney this year versus last year. And then I can come over here and look at my supplier sales, and I can look at 2019, and it's going to show me based on Disney's calendar year what my traveled sales were. Okay, and so you're going to be able to do all kinds of really neat things. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a quick question for you, Ronnie. So I guess the question is, let's say a trip was booked in December or January, and they're traveling in June, let's say. Can the agents go in and start entering information now if they choose to?
Oh, yeah.
Do you recommend it? Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, everyone traveling after March the 1st.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody traveling after March the 1st. We need to get those. You want to have those in there.
So I guess yeah. So typically, if it's being booked, after March 1st, it's going in that way. But if someone books a trip today, or other trips from the past, can they go in and start entering that, or what do you recommend?
Oh no, they can. And so what happens is, let's say that they've entered them, and then that file that you're going to give us, if the booking's already there, it's not going to add it. Okay. And so Greg is going to give us some data files, and we're going to be loading some things up. But if you've already done yours, it's not going to touch what you've done. It will not add a duplicate booking. So it checks to see if it's already there. Okay. So and I certainly encourage you. I know you're very busy, and so anything that you're working on now, you certainly want to be putting it in here. If you just take a little bit of time, and get your list in here, it's going to really, really help you. Okay. And then it's our plan to load last year's data also. Any other questions or points of clarification?
Ron, this is Megan. I've got a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So would it then be in our best interest, I guess, if all this stuff is going to be getting loaded, to save ourselves time, to wait until you've uploaded the information that Greg gives you?
It can, but see, here's the thing. When Greg gives us the information, all it's going to do, it's going to add the trip. It's going to add a trip here, and it's going to add a booking. That's it. Okay. And so it might, if we have the first and last name of a traveler, it could add a traveler. Okay. So for me, it's good practice. It only takes, I can do one in 2 or 3 minutes, and then because I do want to go put where they're going, and I do want to make sure I have all the traveler information and they're good. So it's up to you whether it's going to save you time or not. That's going to be up to you.
Okay. And then I guess just a follow up to that then, with existing clients, or I guess even like with new people, is there any way for us to send something off of them to get information from them to have them automatically entered it into the system, or is that something that we all have to do ourselves manually?
No, we have something, and we'll be showing you that something in the next session.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to have. So what happens is specifically for flights and maybe if you're sending them on a cruise or something, we're going to have a way for Sarah to Alexander. I'm going to send her a task, and she's going to go out there and she's going to look at everybody's names, and she's going to correct their names and their ages, their birth dates, and check off that this is the names as on their travel doc, whatever they're going to use to travel with. We're going to have her send us a payment confirmation, permission to use her credit card, and send us a credit card. We're also going to have her answer some custom tasks. Do you have any food allergies? Any question you want to ask them, you can ask them, and they're going to answer it. And when they answer it, it's going to bring it right into the system for us. So, but that is on the advanced package. And so we'll be talking about that in the next section.
Thank you.
I just get excited because there's so much that you can do. But it's not going to be for everybody. And so, but yeah, but this will give you the information that you need for now. Okay. Anything you want to sum it up, Greg? Any other feedback?
No other questions from me. This was very, very helpful. I can't tell you, Ron, that I've received, I don't know if it was 11 or 12 text, Facebook messages, and emails during this hour just saying how excited people are and how helpful this will be. And so, I think it's definitely exciting moving forward. So we appreciate your help, and hope you have a happy birthday again.
Thank you, guys. All right, it was very nice visiting with all of you today, and I look forward to our next session. So goodbye for now.